Let's be honest. How many of us picked up a new module in DCS, looked around the cockpit, and were like, "What the hell?" Yeah, that was me with the Mi-24P Hind. Maybe it's because I've only ever bothered with Western aircraft, but I feel like there are a lot of switches. I mean, a lot of switches for absolutely everything. Like, Jesus, we even have a single lever dedicated to flipping like a million all at once. And guess what? There's 2 of them! Like, man, sometimes new modules just feel daunting to say the least. Even someone like me with countless hours spent in DCS, I mean, the moment I step foot in a new plane or helicopter, I'll be ejected straight back to when I first started and feel like a newbie all over again. And that's what brings us here to this video. I wanted to show you, you aren't alone. Because today, you're going to take a ride along with me on my adventure to learn a new module, the Mi-24P Hind by Eagle Dynamics. Now, before we even get started learning, what is the absolute first thing we should do? Well, some might say start with tutorial videos. Others, read the official manual. And many, many more. Check out Chuck's guides, because Chuck's guides are fan-freaking-tastic. But, in my opinion, I think the #1 most important thing anyone can do before learning a new module is getting hyped for it. Whether it's from having a personal connection or watching gameplay videos, the very first thing we should be is excited to try our next module. So we'll look up Mi-24P gameplay videos, cinematics, live streams, whatever it takes to get us excited to jump into the cockpit and start learning. Once our hype levels are fully saturated, that is when we can kick things off with...
Welcome to the first training lesson on the Mi-24P Hind helicopter.
the in-game training missions. Oof. Yeah, not very exciting, but hey, our hype levels are still high, and the first thing we should learn how to do is startup, taxi, and takeoff. But all this is useless unless we also bind our controls. So, if you're using a gamepad like me, then feel free to follow this layout I'm using here. I will update and refine this layout over time, so make sure to check the link in the description for the latest version. Now that we've finished the startup tutorial, let's see if any of that sunk in. So we'll hop into a random server and give the startup a go. Alrighty, so we're on the Hoggett Georgia at War server. So let's see if we can start up this fancy helicopter. Batteries, so we'll turn those guys. I guess this should also be... Yeah, there we go. That should also be battery, I guess. Alright, so all the tanks are on. Now, we can start the... Oh. Okay, that's not starting. Why aren't you starting? Let's go back to the training mission.
Welcome to the first training lesson on the Mi-24P.
Oh, the first thing are the breakers. Okay, there we go. We see the lights on the fuel valves. That's what we want to see. Bam, 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 pa, bam, cha, cha. Oh yeah. For that light to turn amber, it did. Engine 1 has come to idle. Although the temperatures aren't moving. That's not accurate. Also, these things haven't moved either. What the heck is going on? Let's double check the training.
Welcome to the first training lesson. Activate P0750A power inverter.
Oh, it's the inverter that I needed. Well, as the temperatures, these should come alive now. Yep, there we go. That's working, and so are these guys. Alright. Then I need to hit these guys to... These are not...
Welcome to the first training lesson.
See, that's what I forgot. Also have to set the DC power as well as the AC... Wait. Those are a bunch of warning lights.
Welcome to the first training lesson. First training lesson. Training lesson. Training lesson on the... To the first training lesson on the Mi-24P Hind helicopter.
Whew! took a few tries, but we definitely got the Mi-24P startup down now. So now we can finally move on to takeoff. I know. I said we would learn to taxi before takeoff, but honestly, we'll likely never taxi in a helicopter. At least I won't. But before we take off, let's double check the cockpit and correct any errors in the totally manual startup we just did, just to make sure everything is how we like it. And finally, it's time. As we take off, based on our time in the Apache, what we know is we need to apply some back cyclic, a little left roll, and a decent amount of left pedal in order to have a nice, smooth... Oh boy! For those who don't know, the Apache that I just described has a rotor that rotates counterclockwise, or to the left. This means, due to the torque effect, the fuselage will want to rotate to the right, or opposite the blade's rotation. To counter this, we need to apply left pedal, which will generate thrust from the tail rotor. This thrust from the tail rotor means the Apache will also drift to the right. To counter this, we also need to apply left cyclic. This way, everything remains stationary. Now, that being said, we are not an Apache. Instead, the Mi-24P Hind has a rotor that rotates clockwise, or to the right. This means that the torque effect and translating tendency is completely opposite to that of the Apache. So, in the Hind, we need to apply both right pedal as well as right cyclic in order to remain stationary. Unfortunately, I am assuming that I need to apply left pedal and cyclic like in the Apache. Oh boy. Oh my god, okay. It is completely opposite. Holy crap. Get it under control, come on. Bring it back. There we go, stabilize a little bit better. We're dropping a little bit, let's add some collective. Keep that right pedal in to compensate. Alright, that should be good. Oh man, I thought I hit the trimmer, apparently not. Oh, shoot-a-do-do, I guess we're not hovering today. Let's go for a flight instead. You know, now that she's moving at speed, she's actually pretty fun to fly. Ooh, and the trimmer's really nice too. Jeez, that really stabilizes. Alright, let's try doing a coordinated turn with some left pedal into the turn, keeping that ball centered as we turn back towards our takeoff area. And there it is. Let's go ahead and bring it in for a landing. Alright, all I'm doing here is just doing my best to keep the nose pointed in the direction we want to land, maybe a little bit offset so I can look over the side and see the landing area, while also holding the trimmer, that way I'm not fighting the autopilot controls on top of this. With that said, once I feel like I'm in a good spot and not too fast, I can actually let go of the trimmer and use the autopilot to keep myself under control as I bring it down. Well, at least as in control as I can get it to be. Alright, looking good. Getting closer. We are now over the landing pad. Let's bring her down. Keep that nose pointed and drop. There we go, not bad. You know, for being a Cold War aircraft, I was expecting the Hind to fight me a whole lot more than it did, but honestly, she's actually kind of a joy to fly. And I would say probably second only to the K-50, which is saying a lot. With startup, takeoff, and landing out of the way, we'll load up on all our favorite weapons, get to the firing range, and see what we're made of. Oop, I just remembered I don't know how to do any of this. Let's consult Chuck. The Mi-24P. Oh, there it is. And what I'm looking for is probably in the weapons interface. Yep, sight ranging mode selector to automatic. Weapon fire control main and cannon rate to on and increased. Sight power switch to on. Weapon selector to rockets. Sight synchronization and sight mode set to sync and auto. And finally tell Petrovich to turn on weapons.
Turning off weapons.
We are finally combat capable in the Mi-24. All there's left to do is take our newfound skills and put them to the test on a server like Enigma's Cold War.
Target acquired. Target at range. Engaging.
Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like, and if you really liked it and like to see more of this kind of stuff, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and let me know in the comments what I should cover in the next episode of Today I Learned. Because honestly, this was a pretty interesting format, so I kind of want to continue this if it ends up hitting well with you guys. Anyways, hope you enjoyed, and have a nice day.